My name is Henrik Andersen and I'm a senior designer at LEGO working for LEGO Star Wars. I've created the Imperial Star Destroyer Devastator from the opening scene of episode 4 of Star Wars A New Hope. The set is about 5,000 pieces. It's just under 110 centimeters long. People building this set is gonna use it as a display model on the main shelf in the living room, I think. For me, it's always interesting to see how far you can go with LEGO with the elements that we have. So this is basically built out of standard LEGO bricks. Some of the cases, it's the first time we have them in gray, so not creating any new parts is nice for me, because that's just part of the creativity with LEGO. What I tried with this model was to create a replica of the original studio scale model they used for filming the Star Wars movie. So I used a lot of photos of the original model and tried to replicate every single small detail on that model. If you see along the big two sides of the model and also on the bridge and the whole upper structure, it's so full of small grippling made out of small Lego pieces like roller skates and frying pans and pork heads, whatever, but in this case used as a different purpose. When I created this set, I noticed on the photos that in the movie the tractor beam antenna is up and all the photos of the model is down. So I decided to make it into a function so you can lower or raise the tractor beam antenna on the bridge of the Star Destroyer. You also have a scale version of the Tantive IV, and you also have a small, not correctly scaled TIE fighter, but the smallest TIE fighter we could do. And you can actually dock both of them in the docking bay. The docking bay and the radar dome underneath the Star Destroyer is what's different on this set from the original one from 2001, because they're missing from that one. One of the things that's always hard working with LEGO Star Wars is that we have to work with gravity, and in the movies it's out in space, so there's no gravity. And one thing I wanted from the very beginning was that you should be able to pick up this model in one piece, so you can clean under it or whatever, or move it from a shelf to another shelf, or take it out for displaying from your friends. For me, in my daily work, it's super important to use the bricks physically, but not far in the process, I started using the 3D modeling program also, both building them physically and digitally at the same time, and going back and forth. The whole model is scaled from the radar dome underneath, because I knew what element I wanted to use for that one. So I scaled it from that, did a 2D printout, and started building. A new thing in this model is that the whole internal structure is basically a LEGO Technic structure, which we never used to this extent in a Star Wars model. And it's also new for me to build this much with Technic, but it was a nice experience and a very quick way of getting to this size. The overall shape of the model is like a spearhead, so it was super hard to get these triangular shapes to fit together with the bricks we have. But once you get the building technique right, it was quite easy. I think while building this set, you should maybe have the movie running in the background to get in the mood and just go along. It's not a super hard build. It's just a big build, and because a lot of the bricks are gray, it's kind of time-consuming to find the elements in the big pile on the table. Making this whole model in gray and slightly dark gray was very important for me, because the model itself is representing a 1.4 kilometer long spaceship. So putting in colors or whatever details wouldn't make sense just because of the scale. But when you build the model to get a much better building experience, the whole model is full of colors on the inside. I've been working as a LEGO designer since 1998, so just over 21 years. In those 21 years, I built a lot of sets. I've worked a lot with Star Wars. I've done the Star Wars Ultimate Collector B-Wing. My very first two models was the two Star Wars Ultimate Collector X-Wing and TIE Interceptor from 2000, which at the time was the two biggest models for LEGO. As a kid, I played a lot with LEGO, by far the favorite toy, and my dream has always been to become a LEGO designer. If you're a young child or a teenager who loves LEGO, just keep on building, live your dream, don't care what everybody else says.